Assalamu alaikum and hi viewers, this is Sajjad Hussain once again and you are watching my YouTube channel. Welcome to today's discussion. Today we are going to discuss a Greek tragedy by Sophocles, that master tragedian, and the name of the tragedy is Oedipus Rex, and it is also called Oedipus the King, and in Greek language it is called Oedipus Tyrannus, and it is a trilogy, a set of three plays, the other plays being Antigone and Oedipus at Colonus. This play, this Greek drama, is highly seminal and it is highly important because Aristotle, in his book Poetics, has referred to it time and again while discussing different concepts on ideal plot, ideal tragic hero, and peripety and anagnosis and catharsis and hamartia. He has frequently referred to this play. Such is the significance and such is the importance of this play. Let's discuss the summary. It is quite interesting and it is also sometimes quite pathetic in its details. But before I start that discussion and I discuss with you the summary, I must thank you all for liking my videos and giving your feedback. This is really encouraging for me to continue with all these activities. Now, the summary of the play, we find out that King Laois and Queen Jocaste rule Thebes. That is an ancient Greek city, and they are about to beget a baby. However, before the birth of the baby, a prophecy is made to them by Lord Apollo that the baby would kill his father, King Laois, and marry his mother, Queen Jocaste. Now, this is something blood clotting. This is something blood freezing, and this is something hair splitting. So the king and the queen try to avoid this tragedy and try to avert this tragedy. And when the baby is born and he is a couple of days old, they pierce the ankles of the baby and tie these ankles with a rope, and the baby is handed over to a shepherd, and he is given orders by the king that the baby should be killed at Mount Kitharion. When this shepherd takes the baby to that mountain, to that hill, he takes pity on it, and instead of killing the baby, he hands him over to another shepherd who belongs to a neighboring city, and the name of that city is Corinth. That shepherd takes the baby to the king and queen of Corinth, and their names are Polybus and Merope. They are issueless, they are childless, they don't have children of their own, so they like Oedipus and adopt him as their son. And Oedipus lives in that palace of Corinth and is brought up there. When he is a young man, and he is obviously the crown prince, and his coronation ceremony starts. He is abused by a drunken man who says that he is not the real son of King Polybus and Queen Merope. This is something shocking for Oedipus, and this is something quite incredible and unbelievable for him. However, he goes to his parents to inquire of the reality, but his parents console him with the thought that he must not pay attention to these foolish remarks by that drunken man. And for the time being, Oedipus is satisfied. However, there is some keen desire in him to find out the reality. So he goes to Delphi, the place of oracles. Among the Greeks, it was a common practice that they consulted Delphi, the place of Lord Apollo, and they presented their problems there whenever they had some issue, and they were answered by a priest there through a prophecy or through an oracle. But the important idea regarding that prophecy or regarding that oracle is that it was not that much clear. The answer was always vague. So Oedipus goes there and presents his problem. He wants to find out who his real parents are. Instead of informing him that King Polybus and Queen Merope are his real parents, or otherwise, or instead of informing him that King Laois and Queen Jocaste are his real parents, another prophecy is revealed to Oedipus, and the prophecy is that he would kill his father and marry his mother. Now, Oedipus is under the impression that King Polybus and Queen Merope are his real parents. So he decides not to return to Corinth because he fears if he returns to that city, there is a possibility that the prophecy might realize. So he starts moving in an opposite direction, and he moves about in wilderness, and he encounters a man who is escorted by his servants, and there's a narrow passage, and because of that narrow passage there is a dispute that takes place between Oedipus and that man, and one of the servants of that man, who is in fact King Laois, and Oedipus does not know that the man is King Laois and he in fact is his father, and King Laois also does not know that the young man is Oedipus, his real son. So a skirmish or a dispute or a quarrel takes place, and out of anger and out of violence and out of wildness, Oedipus kills not only the king but also his men. However, one of these men manages to escape from the scene. Oedipus moves forward and he reaches the outskirts of Thebes, and he comes to know that Thebes is under a calamity, under a disaster. There is a monster by the name Sphinx, and that is ruling the city. There is a puzzle that is asked by this monster, and whoever is not able to answer that puzzle is devoured or is eaten up by this monster named Sphinx. Now, what is the puzzle? The puzzle is name a being or a living being that is on 4 feet in the morning, on 2 feet at noon, and on 3 feet in the evening. Nobody is able to answer the question, but Oedipus answers the monster, and he tells it that human beings are on 4 feet when they are born, and when they are independent and young and adolescent, they are on 2 feet, and when they become old, they are accompanied by a stick, so they are on 3 feet, close to their death or before their death when they are old enough. So this is the answer. Now this monster, after getting the answer, kills itself and perishes on the mountain. Now Oedipus is hailed and Oedipus is welcomed as a savior of the city, as a rescuer of the city, and he is given an enthusiastic welcome, a warm welcome, and he is made the king because recently the king of Thebes has been killed. Nobody knows that Oedipus has killed him, and Oedipus also does not know that he in fact has killed King Laois, who was actually his father. So Oedipus is made the king, and according to the custom of the land, he has to marry Jocaste, who is the widow of King Laois and who actually is his mother. She is still young and she is beautiful, and Oedipus, after marriage, lives with her, and he begets children of her, and this is how the prophecy is completed. Oedipus has not only killed his real father, but he has also married his real mother. So, two sins that were prophesied to King Laois have been committed by Oedipus, though unknowingly and unintentionally, and these two sins are parasite, the killing of father, and incest, marriage with or sleeping with one's mother. Now, this is the story that has already taken place. When the action in the play starts, we find out that Oedipus and Queen Jocaste have been living in a conjugal bliss, in a married bliss for the last 15 years. And then a tragedy haunts the city, a calamity attacks the city, a disaster, a pestilence, a pandemic, a plague dawns on the city, comes to the city, and the people suffer because of this disease and because of this contagion, and these people gather outside the palace of Oedipus and seek his help. Now, this is part 1 of this summary. In the next video, I'll discuss with you part 2, the action that is there in the play. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. Thank you very much. Keep watching, keep following. Allah Hafiz.